Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Cosmic Currents. This is Pauline Marie, and I have a very pack-filled Saturn and Neptune conjunction message for the collective. So let's get into it. And welcome if you're new here. I really appreciate you. And I hope you're feeling now that ignition of the fire horse energy. So this is a really beautiful time. So February 20th, 2026, we have a rare and significant Saturn-Neptune conjunction that occurs at the 0-degree Aries. This marks a once-in-a-century threshold where boundaries meet dreams, is kind of the best way to surmise that. This is this pivotal alignment, and it initiates a 36-year cycle. So we're blending the disciplined Saturn, putting things into place, with the visionary Neptune, with the creative energy, the source energy. It's in that bold initiating fire energy. So we have Saturn in Capricorn, Neptune in Pisces. So we have our water, and then we have our fire. So this is signaling this moment where we begin this journey into where idealism has to take form. It's where dreams aren't abstract anymore. They're becoming embodied. And this is a choice point to do this. And this conjunction isn't an isolated event. It's preparation. It's preparation for the greater orchestration of the planet alignments on February 28th, where they all align at that 0-degree Aries alignment. So in the following days, as that conjunction comes in, these energies gather at that first degree of Aries. It's a cosmic ignition point. And 0 degrees can be thought of as like the womb of creation, right? The seed before the sprout and the breath before the word. It's a Genesis field, okay? So beautiful. So when multiple planetary forces cluster here, it signals it's not chaos, it's orchestration, although it can be viewed in our collective reality as chaos because so much is going to be realigned and rewoven. So just try to imagine this as an orchestra, as things being perfectly woven. Sometimes that takes time, like it's a behind the scenes thing, right? The orchestra practices before they put out their beautiful symphony. So even if your outer world appears uncertain, beneath that visible layer, there's an intricate alignment that is occurring. So that's really the main thing I really want to come across. For you to feel its power, and for you to feel the support, and for you to feel the intricacy that is occurring. And to do that is to turn up that dial on your I am presence, okay? So this is woven like threads crossing a tapestry, timelines adjusting, structures recalibrating to hold what is coming next. And we are being positioned for this. So I'm going to call it the sacred pause in a sense. And you think, pause, wait, we're in the fire horse. It's all about action. But it's about not forcing outcomes. Okay. It's about trusting the weaving that's going through. It's a time to trust that larger architecture at work. And when we can't see movement in our 3D reality, it doesn't mean that nothing isn't happening. There's a lot happening. It means that foundations are actually being set beyond your current vantage point, and the details are being handled. And here, the divine, God, source, the universe, however you want to identify with that, is playing in with divine timing. And so it might not match what we think is a personal preference, but it's precise. And it does require some patience. And patience will prevent misalignments that happen later. So that's a really important part of this sacred pause, if you will. So this is where faith stabilizes our nervous system. As these larger currents move through the collective field, we have to zoom out, we have to rise above the storylines, and we have to tap into the higher perspectives. So from above, from a larger vantage point, zooming way out, we can begin to see some of these patterns. So Saturn's role here is to prepare us, to prepare our vessel, to prepare our being. So Saturn asks us to organize, to clear the noise, to take responsibility for our positioning in this preparation energy. So how are we positioning ourselves for this next chapter, this next evolution of our consciousness? So in order to do that, we get our foundation in order, and that does require us to simplify. And it's a commit. We commit to what we've learned, our maturity in this, our spiritual maturity, all the lessons that we have learned that have been there, that may have seemed like tests, but they were just lessons, preparing us for this moment now. So we want to be in love. We do not want to be in fear, because something larger is landing. And Saturn here reminds us it's time. It's time to become internally structured enough to hold an expanded vision, an expanded worldview. And Neptune's role is to trust during this, to trust this invisible. So it asks us to surrender to what we can't yet fully see. And this is intuitive navigation. This is where we use the intuition in our internal guidance systems, and that trusting of our internal guidance, and trusting in that unseen architecture or scaffolding, if you will. So this is like when, if you imagine how the ocean tides, right? They come in and then they pull back. They don't abandon the shore. They're not abandoning the shore. They're preparing for that next wave to come in. So I love to use these water references because that is kind of some of the foundation of my connection and the downloads and the messages that I get. So in this, Neptune then also invites us to rest in that I am presence, as I mentioned, right? It's like waiting for that next wave to come in. And we need to root into the divine, into that divine presence, that I am presence. And when we do that, rather than trying to chase external circumstances, we can become much more steady in this. Okay, so from the state of the I am presence, we become steady while these cosmos rearrange themselves, therefore rearranging everything in their wake, because as above, so below. So as I mentioned, it requires some patience, some faith, that higher perspective, especially as we approach the February 28th at the 0 degree Aries alignment. So this is about remembering that we don't need to rush the becoming. We don't need to solve the whole story or know all the details. We just realize we're standing at this threshold of a new collective chapter, and it requires some stillness. So have patience, hold faith, tap into that higher perspective daily, spend time in nature, listen more than you speak, right? And move your body, express your truth, and resist that urge to control the outcome. These are some of the best tips that I can give. So this weaving that's happening is intelligence. It's God's intelligence. So trust in that. And as we enter, or have been, we've been in this collective awakening. I mean, it's always in a collective awakening, right? That's part of our evolution. It's just that it's being aligned and orchestrated now into this precise timing, so that we can have a structured vision of what this alignment will do. And it's going to be opening minds. It's awakening curiosity. It's demanding accountability. And we're certainly seeing that. And it's a spiritual fire. And it's grounded in some real world action. Okay. So the bigger picture here is that this isn't like fragmented pieces of, oh, this is happening over there, this is happening over there. It's all integrated. It's all connected. We're all one. It's all integrated. And so what can look uncertain now is just this restructuring of possibility. So we trust the timing, we trust the orchestration, and we trust the intelligence moving through and moving through you and moving through the collective as an ignition. But it's an ignition that does require some preparation. And we are being prepared. So much love, so much love. And until next time, please, if you feel resonant, like, share, subscribe, and we will ignite into our new chapter.